Hello there.
Come here, my little friend.
So you want to lose a little bit of weight, you want to defeat the dad bod empire, and you want to make effortless swaps. Literally no extra energy needed by you.
That's why I'm here.
To lose 20, 30 pounds, literally just by making one or two of these switches. All variables controlled, except for just making one of these two switches. I guarantee you, you could see 20, 30 pounds lost in a year, probably more if you apply what I'm going to show you in this video today.
I've been looking forward to this.
It will take no extra effort. It is literally just choosing between the light side and the dark side version of these different options. And now, one quick caveat. Food is not evil. This peanut butter is not out slaying younglings in the Jedi Temple. We are just trying to go as low calorie as possible so that we can get into a calorie deficit while still having the same volume of food. And there are a number of contexts and ways to look at food from an ingredient standpoint or from a micronutrient standpoint. But here we are trying to get the fat off as quickly as possible. So let's just go right into number one, Greek yogurt versus sour cream. Why sour cream on the dark side? Well, if you look at it, this is just a little tub, and it is 60 calories per 2 tablespoons, so 30 grams. Whereas this Faye Greek yogurt for 150 grams is 80 calories, plus I'm getting 16 grams of protein. So if we equate these out, 30 times 5 to get to the 150 grams, that is going to make this 300 calories per serving. If you equate it and make it equivalent, whatever that word is, to the Faye Greek yogurt. Now, when would you use this? You could put this on top of a baked potato. You could put this in maybe like a chili or a stew, put it right on top. That could be a really easy swap. And so we're gonna go here. In terms of how dark side the sour cream is, we're gonna put it on a scale of like right here. It's not like terrible, you're not gonna die. Chickpea pasta versus wheat pasta. Now here's a really good one if you are trying to get in more fiber and more protein. So 2 ounces of this versus 2 ounces of this. It's a small amount on the calorie side. So this is 190 calories versus 200 for 2 ounces here. But I'm getting 11 grams of protein versus 7 grams of protein. I'm getting dietary fiber 5, dietary fiber 2. So if I can get something that's more filling and more satiating, I don't need to eat as much of this to get the same feeling from a gut standpoint in terms of feeling full and getting those satiating hormones if I go with the chickpea route versus the wheat route. If you are gluten-free, this is also going to be a great option for you because there shouldn't be any gluten in this one. Let me double check that. Yes, gluten-free. All right, so that one there. Now, here's the thing. Wheat pasta isn't bad, but depending on where you're at, maybe you are gluten intolerant, we'll put it here on that scale. And I'll total up, let's actually do this as well. So this is 300 to this 80. This is 200 to this 190. We'll do it by serving size. All right, now we get into milk. Good old fashioned milk. I grabbed my wife's almond milk here. Typically I'll grab a 30 calorie per serving almond milk, but if we look at these and equate them out, 8 fluid ounces, we are looking at 120 calories versus 60. And the one that I have in my fridge is 30 calories per 8 ounces. And so this is literally, this one is 4 times more from a calorie standpoint than regular milk. And now if you're in a building phase, sometimes milk that is higher in calories, a little bit more fat, a little bit more protein, makes more sense. But most of you watching this are trying to defeat the dad bod empire, not bulk up, become Obi-Wan or Swole-Obi-Wan Kenobi. So think about this as just like a quick little swap with whether you're making a protein shake, whether you are having a little bit of it in your coffee, whether you are having a bowl of cereal. There's a number of different applications there. All right, so calories there, we're looking at essentially 30 if you go all the way unsweetened, and this is 120. We'll total them all up at the end. In terms of light and dark side, I'd say we're here. If you don't handle dairy, I'm gonna slide it over a little bit more on the dark side. Now we get to where the Sith Lords live. Diet Coke versus regular Coke. 0 calories versus 240. And I'm gonna preface this with a little story. I grew up in a household where my dad worked for Pepsi for 23 years. We envisioned dinner and lived this out many nights where we would have Pizza Hut and a 2 liter of Mountain Dew or root beer or Sierra Mist. And so I would finish practice, basketball practice, and finish and run to the vending machine and go and grab a Mountain Dew because I, for whatever reason, just like needed that refreshment. So I totally get how addicting this can be. I get how easy it is to just have 1, 2, 3, and then all of a sudden the entire tub that you got is gone. There's zero benefit to this. We're looking at 65 grams of sugar, 240 calories. And when I said you could literally lose 20 pounds of fat just by making one change in one variable, this is what I mean. Let's just say this is 200 calories for easy math. 200 by 365 days in a year is well over 70,000 calories. 3,500 calories is a pound of fat. Divide 70,000 by 3,500, you are at 20 pounds just right there. And that's me being lenient and not even accounting for the extra 40 calories with this being 240 calories. And that's assuming you're not having more than one bottle of Coke a night. If you're having multiple, then you can extrapolate that out. This is how people get 50, 60 pounds added to their weight in literally a year. And so dark side, Coke, we're gonna put all the way over here. There's just no benefit for it. I will frequently go out to a restaurant, get Diet Coke. This isn't in the scope of this video, but you're gonna be fine having Diet Coke if you go to a restaurant and you want that same kind of carbonated soda feeling. Now we go turkey bacon bacon. This one's nuanced, not a ton of difference, but if you are really looking to make a little bit leaner swaps, this is gonna be one you can make. So we're looking at 45 calories per serving, 6 grams of protein, or we'd be looking at 100 calories per serving or 8 grams of protein. So the serving size, I wanna make sure I get this right, 28 grams versus 20 grams. So a little bit of variation there, but I think the big thing here is that 45 versus 100, even if we account for the little bit of a serving size difference here, there's gonna be a little bit of a benefit there. And then I do like bacon, so I'm not gonna make a big deal, but let's put it on the dark side scale right there. All right, where are we at now? Egg whites versus eggs. I'm already gonna put this in the middle. Eggs are like gray Jedi for those of you that believe in that. And it's not terrible to have eggs, but if you are trying to go leaner, then you can totally do that. So here we're looking at 70 calories per serving and 7 grams of protein. Somewhere on this box it says it. I've looked at it a million times online, so I will put that up in post. But basically, every single egg you're gonna have is gonna be about 70 calories and 6, 7 grams of protein. Versus, here we're looking at 3 tablespoons for every 25 calories, you're getting 5 grams of protein. It's that 5-to-1 ratio. If you've watched my high protein snacks, you know what the golden ratio of protein is. 10 grams of protein for every 100 calories is where we wanna be. Anything lower than that is a fantastic source. All right, so egg whites versus eggs, we go 25 versus 70. All right, this one I could cook, but I'm not going to, so I'm just going to show you what we're looking at here. Let's say it gets to the end of the day and you're like, I really have a hankering for something sweet. A sugary, chocolatey pint of ice cream, Ben & Jerry's. Well, for this container, you can pay 1,030 calories. I was gonna say 1,000, that doesn't make sense. 1,030 calories. We're looking at a good old fashioned 110 grams of sugar. So if you're throwing down a Ben & Jerry's and Coca-Cola every night, your insulin and your blood sugar is not gonna like you very much, so something to be aware of there. Whereas, all right, this has essentially got cherries in it, it's got a little bit of cream, and it's got a little bit of additional flavoring, obviously, from the chocolate. So let's say I had chocolate protein, but this is just vanilla. This is 160 calories per serving. This is 90 calories per serving, so 250 right there. Blueberries, depending on how much you put in, let's just throw in 100 calories right there. That's 350 calories. I'm gonna get anywhere from 25, 30, 40 grams of protein if I just do a serving of this, and an entire cup of this. Let's say I double it. I'm at now 500 calories, 50, 60 grams of protein, depending on how you lay it out. And that is half of what I paid for this. And so really big thing here is finding sweet treats that are not going to break the caloric bank. So even if this is 500, which again, you would be so full, you would probably fart all over the place. You'd smell like a bantha. But this thing at 1030, And you know, I'm not here to demonize ice cream. I have ice cream, it tastes great, it's amazing. But if you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to optimize, it's all about little choices that you make. Hopefully you can see that at this point. So let's move this over, make a little bit of space, and let's go into our next one because I really like this one. Dressing, sauces. I can't tell you how many times I'll go and look at someone's nutrition in their MyFitnessPal or whatever we're tracking, whatever software, and they will have a great meal. Asparagus, they'll make some salmon, they'll have a little bit of brown rice. And then I'm like, it says you ate 1,200 calories today. Was there any sauces that you had? They're like, oh yeah, I did put a bunch of sauce on it. My brother, it is very easy to take 2 tablespoons at 70 calories and turn that into 5 tablespoons, 6 tablespoons. And then all of a sudden, every single meal you're having, you are baptizing it in Sweet Baby Ray's and ketchup and garlic aioli and ranch and everything else. That tastes amazing, but it is ultimately not helping you get towards your goal of defeating the dad bod empire. So just simple switches like this. This is the sweet and smoky Ray's, no sugar added. This is the original sweet and spicy. 70 calories per serving, 15 calories per serving. I rest my case, Judge. 15 or 17, I will take the 15 10 times out of 10. You might be thinking, oh, but it doesn't have as much sugar, it doesn't taste as good. Yeah, sometimes you're gonna have to have the thing that doesn't taste like candy to lose weight. Hate to break it to you, but it's a pretty fair trade. And if you put enough salt on that baby, it's gonna taste fine. A lot of people would argue that you ruin the meat anyway when you just throw on a bunch of sauce and delete from what the chef did or what the butcher did. So PB powder, peanut butter. Again, I am not here to, let's put this one, bam, on this scale there. I'm not here to say peanut butter, almond butter, nut butter in general is bad, but we're trying to be really optimized. And here's the thing, Jif and a number of companies, their job is to sell product. They know that if they put 7 grams of protein on the product, you're gonna see them like, oh my gosh, so much protein, I must buy it. And then you end up eating half the jar in a sitting. And guess what? For half the jar, you're looking at 2,000 calories. And half the jar, if we do 12 by 72, this is just bad math right off the start, but you're looking at 84 grams of protein. Not worth it for 2,000 calories. So the thing that I would switch out, because a lot of times people will put these in their smoothies, is a PB2 powder. So this is 60 calories, 6 grams of protein, or 190 calories, 7 grams of protein. So obviously the calorie to protein ratio is much better. We're looking at essentially 60 calories per serving versus 190. You do still get that peanut butter taste. And now again, I'm not here to demonize peanut butter. And if you're trying to build muscle and in a building phase and trying to be in a calorie surplus, peanut butter is gonna help you get there because you're not gonna notice the extra volume and gram of food in your smoothie, or if you go and put it on something like Kodiak cakes. And so it can be a great way to get in more calories. So it really just kind of depends on your goal there. All right, this one's super simple, super ninja-y. Dave's Killer Bread, 21 whole grains. You can either have this one with 60 calories or this one with 110 calories. This is just literally a bigger portion size. You could look at this from a pizza standpoint, you could look at this from a slice of bread standpoint, but let's say you're trying to make some avocado toast, or let's say you're trying to make BLT or a club. You just need some bread to hold everything together. Would you rather do it with the big slice or the little slice? You're not gonna notice a difference, but when you extrapolate this out over weeks and months, this can make a huge difference because it's a 50% nearly decrease in calories. So if we go 110 to 60, you're still getting a good amount of fiber. You're still obviously having the bread, but if I can get 60 instead of 110, I'm gonna make that trade because that is civilized thinking. So next couple, we're almost there, hang with me. So we've got 90-10 versus 80-20 beef. Whew, it's getting a little warm, gotta get these guys in the freezer. So 80-20, we're looking at 290 calories, 19 grams of protein. Why is that? Because 20% of it is fat, specifically 9 grams saturated fat, 23 grams of fat. Fat's 9 calories per gram. Protein's 4 calories per gram. It's over double in terms of how much calories it's going to be based on the volume of food. So if we can just get something that's a little bit leaner, a higher percentage of protein, we're gonna cut the calories down from 290 to 170. This is both a pound of beef. And we are able to see a 480 calorie difference between these two. you're not gonna notice a difference when it's inside of your taco or when it's inside of your beef bowl. So with that, that's a really easy swap. But then again, you gotta understand what's the goal, what are you trying to do? There's gonna be different cuts of meat that maybe having more fat on it makes sense. There's gonna be times where maybe you want more fat because you were trying to bulk up and you want what I just explained with the peanut butter. So 170, 290. All right, final last one here. I was just at Disneyland, or just Starbucks in general, but I was at the Disneyland Starbucks. And man, I saw these people getting basically milkshakes from the Starbucks. And these things must have been 1,000 calories. And I remember in high school, I would get the double chocolate chip Frappuccino. I was a spaz, I was playing sports, running around. It was fine, but had I known, maybe as a parent of me, I would have been like, hey man, maybe you don't need 60 grams of sugar, maybe you don't need 1,000 calories. Like if your coffee is basically just a bunch of sugar, do you want coffee or do you want candy? Because that's essentially the choice you're making. And so a simple one, kind of similar to the Coke, is you can have a latte, you can have a Frappuccino, you can have a number of different drinks, or you can just have black coffee, or you can just have an Americano. So this is just a black coffee, 0 calories. I could have had a latte, 300, 400. We'll use just a standard grande latte from Starbucks to make this relation here, but this is going to be 0. And now I'm not here to demonize lattes. I like a good latte. I'm not here to demonize beef. I like a good beef. I'm not here to demonize any of these, because again, ice cream, Coca-Cola, they're not out there slaughtering younglings or beating Tuscans into the ground. There's no morality to food. There's just numbers and science. And so I want you to kind of bring your mind back to that, because we're just trying to decouple emotional thinking with what's going to be the most civilized way of reaching our goals. And if you want to fight, kick, and scream and say, no, I want to have 2 bottles of Coke every single night, well, then you are lost. And I don't know what to tell you. But if you do want to make a change, if you do want to defeat the dad bod empire, and you believe that Chancellor Pal Protein is evil, even though we like protein, then this is going to be a simple thing that you can make. Just make these little light side, dark side switches. I'm going to count these up and see what the difference is. All right, so the numbers are in. Light side, 1,390 calories. Dark side, 2,920. Good more amount of protein on this side, and this isn't even getting into different food choices around vegetables and fruit and what you would have throughout the entire day. This is just 12 items. And again, this might seem like a small amount in a day, but extrapolate this out over a year and you're looking at potentially hundreds of pounds. No, I'm not kidding. Potentially hundreds of pounds of a difference if you just start making different choices, and you're not really gonna notice a difference. You'll acclimate to the taste and the flavor within the first couple weeks. And I'd say it's worth it. So you're in Kenobi's kitchen, and I'm Master Swolby1 Kenobi. Thank you for joining me. Questions, drop them down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. If you want to support the channel and my battalion, you can get a 212th Attack Battalion as well as 12 other clone units and rock that swag as you get fit for the Republic. And if you want to learn about Fit Nerd Academy, where we coach people to achieve their fitness goals, defeat the dad bod empire. And when I say get fit for the Republic, I really mean get fit for their family, get fit for their country, their community. Got a lot of military members, first responders, fathers, parents, mothers, you name it, whatever. They're in there. We're all just nerding out, working out, getting healthy, getting fit. If that's you, that's gonna be down below in the description. Otherwise, I will catch you on the next Trooper Transmission. Peace.